is so loud. That's tiring. Well, gentlemen, today I'm God Silliest LARPer yet again. We are out here on the less than flat range, and what I'm doing, first off, a new piece of kit. It's gonna be this Crossfire LBE. It's gonna be tying into another video later, but essentially I wanted to get out, have some fun, of course film it because I'm a dancing monkey for YouTube, but we're essentially doing some full kit drills with the H-Card. Essentially the H-Card kit I have on is, imagine you're on a planet in Interstellar with all the water where the gravity is punishing here. And that's essentially what we're doing today. So we're gonna get after it, and it's gonna be like a good little quasi workout because it's rather heavy, but you know, less complaining, more shooting. So let's assault this hill. We'll shoot the target and we'll sprint uphill and engage the targets down low. If I can buckle my chin strap like an idiot. Not great hits. All right, first drill is the cooker. I think that was a total time of like 84 seconds that I run uphill in this kit. Definitely felt that, especially after a nice leg day. Displace. We're gonna go for some longer shots. These guys will probably be out to 300 to 400. Been having some issues already with hitting the targets, but this is where we're gonna dial it in. Just over. Right is under. The magnifier is moving on me. So in some ways already, running this kit with this LBE, with the plate carrier on, there's certain things I'm noticing off the rip, like that feels like you're in a straitjacket, just trying to do certain things in movement. And you definitely start to feel the gear in the sense of like, when you're proned out and you have to like grab gear around your kit and your person, how like you elevate yourself off the deck. So like if I'm laying down, my plate carrier, with all the shit I have on it, is already pushing me up, right, higher than I would want to be to get a good stable shooting platform. And if I roll over, and I lay like on my side like this, you can see my side saddle with a 2-liter water bottle in there, lifting me up along with the mags. And then on your back, still the kind of the same thing. Oh, it's actually kind of comfy. You can still see how much it raises you off the ground, which in the game of inches, that's a lot. I mean, we call football the game of inches, but in the real world where bullets are very small but very deadly, every leverage of advantage I would say matters, which I think is important. Now, keep in mind, in this video, I may say something that could be off, could be wrong, and I acknowledge that. And I'm a massive LARPer out here LARPing in the flat range. But this is a great chance to try out some kit and put the rubber to the road of what would work and what wouldn't work. And it's kind of like I'm shopping around with ideas of like, in my head, when I'm at home, I'm looking at this kit, I'm like, oh, based off my prior knowledge, I think this would work. And then actually trying it out, it's like, oh, this is gonna work or it's not. With that said, let's do some I'm up, he sees me, I'm down drills. So we'll start standing, hit the deck, engage the targets, probably going from nearest to far, and then after you engage, we'll probably do like 3 rounds apiece. And then displace, I'll move along this ridge up here, keeping my fire at the targets. It'll be a good time. This is honestly pretty comfy too. Well, besides my kidneys are getting obliterated. So I think my G43 magnifier getting a little loosey-goosey on me. That's another thing, is testing out the shit on your gun. Like it definitely, I knew it was like wiggling on me, but it's just the magnifier, so what does that matter? Crazy, I was crazy once. All right, I'm up, he sees me, I'm down. He sees me. I'm down. Reloading. Ryven, where's your BAR? Oh, he sees me. I'm down. Nice little rock. Shooting platform. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. This is not ideal. Figure it out, buddy. You're getting shot at. Charlie's in the bush. All right, class, how did Tactical Timmy do? How did the Tackleberry do? Well, good life lesson. Lost a bunch of stuff on that low crawl. I landed on the ground there and I thought, this doesn't feel like a great shooting spot. I have stuff blocking my way, but staying true to the drill, we're gonna low crawl up to where I can shoot. I feel like I'm not connecting with the further steel and it's all just like suppressive fire, which is annoying, because 30-06 ain't cheap. So if you enjoy this video, that's good. Fun though, it's a cooker. When you do drills like this, I feel like you get so much more knowledge and feedback than being on the static box flat range, whether it's indoor or at like a training facility, which is good for those places because you really get to dial in your fundamentals. But when it comes to kit like this and seeing what works well with you, much different story, much different experience, pal. You're about to witness a problem I have with this Crossfire rig, and that is my range of mobility with it. So I want to get to my 2-liter water right now, but if it's secured on my person, I'm gonna have a really hard angle trying to get it out, next to borderline impossible, and I just know I won't be able to get it in. So essentially, I really have to unlock the rig on me to be able to even get access to it. So one thing I wish was more prevalent is the acceptance of 2-liter water bottles. This is a tangent, is the acceptance of 2-liter water bottles, because I live in Arizona, and during the hot summer months, heat will kill you, and I love the idea of having more water on me, even though it is heavier. The pouches fit the 2-liter bottles. I understand, like, hey, you're supposed to have a battle buddy with you, but when I'm LARPing in the flat range, sometimes my friends can't come out and play house. Now, this video isn't about this rig. It's heavily involved with it, but reinserting the water bottle is kind of a pain in the ass. I wish there was like a little bit more give on them. I can understand if it's on your person not be able to get to it, but alas, many such cases, my lord. I think if the gun community was like honest with itself, it would be learning to do drills like building trenches and how to fly drones. FPV drones, but that stuff isn't as cool and doesn't sell as well. It's like a hot take. I know it's a hot take. All right, so next we're gonna do some running and gunning drills. We'll do some suicides. That's what I call them in school, at least, like when I was playing football. And we'll start standing right here, 2 rounds on a cardboard about 60 to 70 yards away. That's my rough guess. I'll run back to up there, engage 2 rounds, and we'll go until the mag is empty. This little cardiovascular burner in all this kit. It's a bad sign off the rip. Got a malfunction. Junction, what's your malfunction? So I am running different ammo. Some of these guns, some of these mags have 30-aught Springfield ammo. Some of them have like deer hunting ammo. Ammo, which I got from the sponsor of the video, Optics Planet. Use code LARP for 7% off the entire store. Thank you, Optics Planet, very cool. There we go. Properly gassed up this time. I know what's wrong with it. I ain't got no gas. So that should shorten my runs down a little bit, which will be nice. He's cheating, he's cheating. Mini a trip hazard. Thank goodness I'm semi-athletic.
You don't know me, son.
Oh my God. And she's dry. I realized I was resting and not reloading like an idiot. I will say the kit is definitely punishing. It's not even as heavy as it could be. Definitely missing certain items. Like in theory, like an assault pack of sorts. I would have your night vision and extra ammo and extra snacks. Time. With the reload, 115 seconds, 2 minutes of gassing. Not too shabby. How's that for you, Colton?
All all right.
Oh, okay. Conjunction junction, what's your function? So we've done 3 drills already. Now I say we do another one because this is why we're out here. So the spot we're shooting at on the side of this hill is a nice little flat for even the side of this hill, even though it is a little bit uneven here and there, but it's not as uneven as the rest of this untamed side of the hill, and there's some large rocks. Now, realistically speaking, you wanna be using cover if you're getting shot at. So we'll be trying to navigate the rocks on the side of this hill. You may be thinking, hey, this is kind of dumb. Why are you making this into a YouTube video? And I had this thought, like, we play a lot of video games, at least I do. I play a lot of Hell Let Loose, Battlefield, games like that, where your soldier can just go and go and go and never gets tired. He's wearing all his kit, has a bunch of ammo and fighting equipment on him, but he never seems to fatigue. And so I think it's important to show what an average Joe, and I like to think I'm a little bit above average in weightlifting, but as far as cardio goes, I'm not the best. I'm excellent over short distances. I played football in high school, so it kind of puts in perspective my athletic background. I'm not saying I'm like Uncle Rico throwing a football over those mountains, but kind of like a little example of, hey, you're gonna get gassed pretty quick in kit. Of course, adrenaline dumps play in the effect of things, so a lot of talking, not a lot of shooting. I hope there's no snakes. Oh, gee golly. Good gosh. That was fun. Wolverines! So how did I do during the drills? Well, I will definitely say my performance felt lackluster. I was way more critical of myself, and I was definitely missing some hits. Really a glaring showing my personal accuracy, trying to reach out to just maybe even 200 to 300 yards and beyond. I think the furthest we were trying for is 400 with the red dot and magnifier, and I felt like I was just wetting the bed. So that's really frustrating, and you know, I can give you all the excuses like I'm coming back from paternity leave. You know, I haven't been doing much shooting lately, looking after a baby, but those are all just dog piss and I should be better. So that is frustrating and something I need to take into account. And it kind of shows like, hey, maybe that isn't the setup for this style of gun. Maybe it could be an ACOG that you could switch over to and try that out. So maybe that will be a future test if we come back to this concept, because ultimately I do love the BAR loadout. It just speaks to me. It's all horsepower. But also would be the speed of the gear. Not only is the gear cumbersome, but it is not fast. So typically when we look at the history of gear with guys coming back from the Global War on Terror, a lot of that kit got streamlined down to helmet, plate carrier, battle belt. And it felt like everything was orientated around the speed of the flat range. What we're seeing now is that guys in like trench warfare, it doesn't look like they're doing speed reloads, of course, unless they have to. Or hearing guys talk about, like the high-speed guys talk about their time even in the Global War on Terror, those guys even say it was very extremely rare that they dumped 30 rounds and would have to conduct a speed reload. Now, rarity in all that situation, it's up to you essentially. But for this kit, all that speediness kind of goes out the window. Like if I'm dumping a mag with this gun and this setup, and I now need to change a mag, I better have friends with me that are gonna be covering me. That's kind of like the thought process behind all this kit, is that it's so much gear on you that you're there with a bunch of other people to hold ground and occupy a position. Yet again, it could be going back to, I don't know what I don't know. I could be way out of line with all this, but it seems like a reasonable speculation. Wolverines! Ow, the snake in my boot. That was a short little run. You know, 3 different pieces of cover, multiple rounds, a piece at the cover. A bare minimum of 2, right? And running the H-car with this kit feels so damn clunky. It is actually crazy how cumbersome everything feels. And I'm sure with more training time and more time on the gun, it'll be like no factor. If this is the only gun you ever ran for the rest of your life, it probably would become like second nature. Dudes have worn worse kit to kill each other in. Imagine wearing like a full night suit. I mean, they made those to be comfy, but still you're wearing like all this armor. At least I have an advanced archery bow on. Oh, this thing. Yeah, I think it's like stabbing through my boot. It's gotta be dog hair. Gross. I will say that this rig setup, all the gear combined together, does a good job at displacing the weight of all the equipment on me. So when we started this at the beginning, I had 9 mags on me. Of course, these are BAR mags, 2 of them being the YouTube compliant less than 29 round mags, which are like the size of a freaking Bren gun mag. They're huge. And so in total, the rest were all 20 rounders. In total, that's 200 rounds of 30-06. And 200 rounds of 30-06 is gonna be pretty freaking heavy. And there's no ammo on the plate carrier, only ammo on the rig itself. So I will say that even as heavy as it is with that ammo and then the 4 liters of water, still felt very manageable, except when, you know, you start to feel the weight when you're trying to run and be fast.
You're like, I know I'm faster than this.
You feel like you're in a dream because you're so slow. So there's that factor. I like the rig a lot. I think there are certain things about it that could be improved upon, but I like the direction that they're headed in. I think it's a good start. There's some really good padding on the inside, of course. And overall, I think it does a good job at carrying the weight. Now, there are some things that I'm not too fond of about this Crossfire rig, and that I would probably blame myself for. The reason I would blame myself is I like to work out. I said it before in the video, I like to lift weights, and one of the weightlifting things is working on your lats. Now, your lats are a muscle on the side of your body, on your back over here, and you kind of like, if you get big lats, you start to look like a flying squirrel. When you're wearing kit like this, it kind of plays against you because your range of mobility kind of gets hampered. Like my furthest back, I can reach the water bottle, but getting it out, manipulating it isn't easy. My second mag pouch to the rear, kind of the same story. Like I can get to it, but fumbling around with it, it's kind of goofy, especially for like the hand angles and working with these BAR mags. Everything is accentuated when working with a freaking H-Car. So let me say this, is that I do love the H-Car. I made a video on the main channel before, and I criticized it mainly for the price and how boutique it is, but that's my criticism from a standpoint of trying to be like no bias. But the reality is that this is one of my dream guns, and I got this gun thanks to Americana Pipe Dream Apparel, who's also the sponsor of this video. Fantastic young zoomers getting after it in the milsurp space. They're awesome guys, and they have an excellent website full of cool stuff such as night vision manuals, clothing, knives. I think they got some cool Japanese knives coming out that are pretty freaking slick, and I would encourage you guys to go check them out. Sometimes they're gonna have things that are out of stock. Oh, they also have some cool British DPM they want me to tell you about. So love these guys a lot, and they helped get that dream come true by sponsoring me with an H-Car. I'm very grateful to them for that. Now, the harsh reality is, you know, I have this built up notion in my head like, all right, in my hypothetical dodgeball match, the world is ending. Am I gonna grab an H-Car? You know, I like the idea of that because it's a 30-06 battle rifle. It's all power, it's all American horsepower. And the issue is I'm probably not gonna grab it. I'm probably gonna stick to my trusted 5.56 rifle that I know and love because everything about it is set up to how I want. I can carry way more ammo and it's way less clunky. Like this thing is just so thick, and when you're running around with it, it's very loud, very noisy. I don't even own a can for it at the moment, which I'm working on to fix, but I don't mind the idea. I like the idea of it, but when the rubber meets the road, it becomes hard to justify. Now, of course, this is kind of like a refresher on the H-Car. It did make its way into a video game called Battlefield Hardline, which I think was an overshadowed game. Essentially, it's cops and robbers, and I thought that was a cool little touch of Battlefield Hardline having an H-Car, because it's kind of like a throwback to, you know, good guys and bad guys back in the bootlegging era using BARs. I know this is a tangent. This is a video about the gear and like the workout and all all together, but you know, let me riff, let him cook. If you're on the second channel, you should know this by now. The cohesion is that there is none. That's the fun of this. So I'm just riffing. You know, on the topic of the H-Car that we're here right now, let's go over real quick the setup. Got a Surefire body with a Mod Light head, Zeniko Perth 4. Got a Surefire 3-prong. Makes a nice ping sound so you can have good harmonics with the enemy. And then you have EOTech G43 and an Aimpoint Comp M5. Pretty simple setup. Like I was saying, man, I do love the H-Car, but running it in reality is gassing and tiresome. You have all this weight with just a semi-automatic 30-06. In theory, it's like you start to get to the ballpark of like a freaking belt fed almost. Almost, not really though. And I worry about the reliability. And like, if you try and break this gun down and work on it, it is so hard to put back together. It is so tricky, but damn, do I still love her. I was playing with 2 different combos of gear to work alongside this LBE. And it was either gonna be a chest rig, which I believe is gonna be a Mayflower chest rig, that I got from the Finns, or it was going to be this plate carrier. Now, I think that I personally like the option of the chest rig more than the plate carrier. The thing is, I have like this worrisome nature to myself where it's like, okay, if there's a societal collapse and I have to wear all this, the added layer of armor could be life-saving if I do get hit there, but then it comes back to like the survivorship bias. It was like a study during World War II where they were essentially showing all this data from the planes that were getting shot at, and it showed like all the planes coming Shut up. And it showed all the planes coming back that they like where they were getting hit at means that they could survive if they got hit there. And all the planes that went down means like those planes that got hit. I'm really butchering the study. So I know I butchered the survivorship bias study, but that's essentially the thought process I had, because say there's not going to be like an infrastructure to immediately facilitate me getting shot with amazing surgeons. So everywhere else I could manage to probably survive, but the vitals, that's the thought. But in reality, I'm probably still going to go with the chest rig because one, damn do I love chest rigs. I think chest rigs are some of the best pieces of kit you can buy. I think body armor is of course very important, but in theory, if I was handling a catastrophic event and I had very little logistics, my goal would to not be getting in like patrol gunfights. It would be to, defend my family. The best way to not die is not being in gunfights, but having everything I need on me. So it's a really weird tangent. It's a really weird like rabbit hole to go down because essentially it's all like this war gaming and gear gaming and nerding out. And I totally get that, but it is something that I'm very passionate about. And it's something that I very love to think about and just kind of like word vomit out to you guys, and I think this is the place to do it. But I wanted to get out here and try out this loadout specifically with the Ohio Ordnance H-Car because I remember when I initially did the video, I had a lot of issue building out a kit and I was trying out different things. I was having like a more classic conventional gun guy setup where it was like a Cry Riggers belt with a big old mag pouch on there with some harnesses, and then I would put the plate carry-on underneath with like a Hub City Outdoor Americana Pipe Dream 4-panel chest rig to hold BAR mags. And while that worked, it felt very top heavy, didn't feel as efficient. This feels on the body way better, but there are of course limitations on my range of motion for getting this stuff. So the weight distribution is much better, but the access to the tools is not as great for me personally. That's on me because it's like, all right, buddy, time to stretch more. So trying out this kit also makes me think of like when guys were back in World War II having to put together their kit as a BAR gunner and probably trying to figure out the best ways to carry a bunch of mags. Of course, they had the BAR belt, which was a concept that was even around since World War I. Now the BAR belt in World War II, of course, would be updated and modified, and I am curious and wonder if there were rigs of sorts that guys modified or came up with to stack additional BAR mags on them, because your BAR mags are probably gonna go pretty fast if you're shooting a full auto, gun that's supposed to be like a saw for the era. So that's kind of like the stuff I also think about is like the weird one-offs or two-offs or like improvised gear of World War II. I find if that stuff does exist, probably gonna be pretty fascinating. Well, gentlemen, this was essentially an H-Car loadout video with hints of future content tying into it, such as the LBE. Now, if you enjoy this sort of thing, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Your comments are sacrificed to the algorithm god, gods of which who enjoy a nice, beefy, chunky round, such as the 30-06. I have nothing else for you, gentlemen. Stay easy, stay breezy. Catch you guys on the flip. I love the irony of having binoculars on me, but then my gun's like only like a 3-time magnified. Stupid, stupid, stupid.